Are written actions and meeting minutes required for single owner LLCs and corporations? This is an interesting and strongly debated issue by attorneys because the general rule is that you must follow the corporate formalities, which means having meeting minutes and making decisions. And if you don't follow those, creditors can pierce the corporate veil. In other words, you can have personal liability for the corporation or the LLC's debts. So most lawyers will tell you you must have meeting minutes at least every so often for a corporation or an LLC. Some people will say quarterly, some people will say annually, but let's think about it. How do you have a meeting with yourself? If you're the sole owner of a corporation and you have a shareholders meeting, what is that? Isn't that just kind of a ridiculous formality to create meeting minutes for that? Well, the law has said it's not a ridiculous formality. A lot of things are merely formalities, but it's those formalities that demonstrate a business owner is following the law and keeping the corporation's affairs separate from the business owner's affairs. So then you might ask, if I don't have annual meeting minutes, does that mean a creditor can pierce the corporate veil, or I would have personal liability? Well, I'll tell you, after practicing law for nearly 20 years, I have never come across a case, and I've looked for it, but I've never come across a case where merely not following formalities resulted in piercing the corporate veil. And specifically, I've never seen a case where just because a company didn't have meeting minutes, the shareholders had personal liability. What I have seen is where that was one of many factors considered by a court in determining that the creditor could pierce the corporate veil, which means the shareholders were personally liable for the debts of the company. But as we'll talk about in a moment with piercing the corporate veil, there are a lot of other factors, and those factors are much more important than having meeting minutes, especially for a single owner LLC or corporation. That said, it's pretty easy to put together meeting minutes. All you have to do is get a free template. I have one online. We'll put a link in the description below that you can find later. And it provides a template of meeting minutes that you can use. Just put those together. I get that it's kind of dumb, you're meeting with yourself, but it's a very small investment of time to be able to check that box and say, hey, I followed the corporate formalities here. I'm Aaron Hall, an attorney for business owners and entrepreneurs. I encourage everybody to subscribe at aaronhall.com/free. That's where you can get some exclusive videos helping business owners avoid common and expensive legal problems and help grow your company so you achieve success in your company and hopefully as well in your life.